Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, this is your U.S. General 5-drawer tool cart with side tray and deep compartment. Today is Sunday, as you can see. We just now making it back over to the storage unit, getting back to it, getting busy as always. In today's video segment presentation is going to be a little informative and educational video for those individuals out there who is looking to get their feet wet in the field of service when it comes to the automotive trade. Okay. In this particular video, I am going to run through quite a few things and demonstrate quite a few things. So this is going to be, geared towards those individuals out there who may be interested in, pursuing a career in automotive service field and things like that of that nature. And we're going to take a look at some things that, you may need along your way, depending upon, what area and service you decide to work, because not all shops are the same. Okay, from independent shops to tire service shops to lube tech shops, just as well as dealerships and things like that of that nature. And when it comes to the tools that are used in service, with each category, sometimes the tools differ depending upon the job and your daily functions at hand. Okay. So we're going to take a good look at some of those things and take a look at some of the things that you may testically need, when first starting off into this field. And just to, give you a little heads up and a little light on things. But I ain't going to hold you up too much more longer in the introductory of things. But as I always state, as usual, I always keep my signature lingering somewhere in the background. My Dunkin' Donuts coffee. You already know. Okay. So pretty much I'm about to get quite a few things out to the top of the tool cart. We're going to dive right into it. So walk with me. Let's get it. All right. When first coming into the automotive service field, all right, not all the time, depending upon, um, what type of location or shop that you tend to pursue employment in, because all shops are different. Like I said, you have tire technician shops, you have transmission shops, you have your regular normal independent, just as well as lube tech shops and dealerships and things like that of that nature. But when you first come into the field, more than likely you'll be doing services, just sort of say, as oil changes, coolant flushes, tire rotations, wheel balancing, if you deal with a shop that does wheel alignments and things like that. So I have quite a few items sitting at the top of the tool cart, and we're going to take a look at some of these items that you will need first starting off coming into the field. And these are some items that I suggest. Some of them throughout this video will be tool truck brand tools, just as well as some off-brand tool truck quality brand tools. So the main objective is not the highest quality brand tools in this video. I just want to give a little demonstration to show what you will testically need when starting off in the field. So the very first thing I want you to take notice to back here is a pen. Always, have a pen, just as well as something to write down, okay, because you will be taking notes and there will be things that you need to document throughout the day. Okay, when it comes to doing things such as oil changes and oil service, as you can see, I have a lot of different items that are listed across the top of the tool cart. Okay, so what I want to start with over here is that I suggest, if you would be working with seals and things like that, to get yourself a scraper. Okay, yes, this is Mac Tools. Okay, the part number is SS1200. Okay, this does have retractable blades that sit within the handle that can easily be assembled. What you are taking a look at here are what you call your oil filter claws. One is a 1/2 inch drive and another one is a 3/8 drive. Okay, when coming into the automotive service field, it's an importance to have an understanding of what drive sizes that you will basically be using in your daily functions. In the automotive service field, we use 1/4 inch 3/8 drive and 1/2 inch drive. When you start to take a look at heavy equipment mechanics and diesel mechanics, they more enough use a lot of 3/8 drive, and I believe 3 1/4 1 inch drive and 2 inch drive and higher. Okay, so amongst those two different fields, the line of tool selection is quite different from your regular normal standard automotive service tools. Okay, back here, what you're taking a look at is a 64 millimeter oil filter flute. Okay, this is a special flute that is designed a little bit differently compared to some others. This is designed specifically for Toyota, Lexus, and Scion. All right, I will get out another set of flutes that are more interchangeable for your most common, normal standard vehicles. Okay, the part number on here is AC1096. This is made by Autocraft. Okay. Back here, what you're taking a look at, these are battery terminal removers. There's a reason why I actually have both out, because when you first start off, you will be doing things just as so to say as changing wiper arm blades, battery service, like I stated, oil service, coolant flushes, and things like that. But I want you to know what is correct to have, in the beginning. As you can see, yes, I do have a snap-on that is sitting over here to the side. Okay, the part number is CJ92. All right, this is made in the USA. All right, but there is a difference with between the two. This one right here is less of inexpensive brand, okay, but it provides two different functions. As you can see, the jaws are different compared to the snap-on. So with this particular battery terminal remover, you're capable of removing wiper arm blades just as well as battery terminals. So it would be my suggestion that you move in a direction, of something like this before thinking about getting something like this that is a little bit more expensive. Once again, some of these other items become more luxury at times. All right. What you're taking a look at here is a oil filter low profile socket set. Okay, that ranges from 24 millimeter, 32 millimeter. You have 27, 29, and 35 and 36 millimeter. These will be your most common sizes right here that you will need when it comes to doing oil changes and things like that of that nature. All right, this is a very good set to have. Laos is lifetime warranted. You can pick this up at retailers just as well as there are tool truck brands that carry this line just as well, like just so to say, is Snap On. The part number is 13300. Okay. Moving along, as you can see here, you have a telescoping mirror, okay, just as well as a magnet. When it comes to particular tools like this, you can just go along with any brand, because essentials like this is not going to make your job any more efficient, or help you do the job any much more better. It'd be things like this that you don't technically have to worry about with trying to get the most highest quality and things like that. Okay, just something as simple as this, but these are Mako. Okay, another thing that I suggest is, as you can see, I have my Milwaukee blade back here. Always keep something, your Sharpies and things like that around, because there will be times where you will need to cut things. All right, back here, as you can see, I also keep some filler gauges. Okay, these are Mac right here. When it comes to essentials like this, depending upon what type of work that you will be doing, you may not necessarily need these right away, because you may not be performing those type of services that will require these filler gauges. You understand, because that comes with a different line of service. Here, what you're taking a look at is two different oil filter wrenches. Okay, as you can see, one is a whole lot much more bigger than the other one. This one here is Milwaukee, and this one here is Craftsman's USA. All right, there's a reason why I have these two out, and for the smaller version, some individuals don't like using these, but there's a very specific reason to actually have these smaller ones, because there will be times, depending upon what type of vehicle you work on, okay, not all the time you will be able to get this particular size in, because there will be other parts that will be in your way. Okay, so this is the importance of having, another wrench like this, just so to say, if you do not technically have oil filter claws. Okay, this is where some of these particular tools come into play. Here, as you can see, this is another oil filter wrench, but in this particular style, I don't technically suggest these. I really don't like them, just as well as they do have a strap style and just as well as they have a chain style. But the strap style and the chain style, unfortunately, I don't have in my selection of tools and things like that of that nature. Okay, back here, what you're taking a look at is a digital air pressure gauge, just as well as you also have a manual air pressure sense um, gauge, just as well. Okay, you should always have one of these accessible to you. It may not always be necessary to have a digital one, but it is good to have a digital one because you would like to be accurate. Okay, just as well as back over here, you have your dead threat tool. So this is another option that I suggest that you always keep a couple of them, because at times you can misplace them and lose them and drop them and things like that. Okay, back here, this is a particular tool which is a wheel hanger. Okay, because you will be doing tire rotations and things like that, depending upon what type of shop that you work in. But you have some make model vehicles that actually do not sit on lug nuts, they actually sit on pins. Okay, so I'm gonna get this particular item out so that you can get a quick look at it real quick. Okay, this is an item made by Blocksport. Okay, these are mainly more used for BMWs, Audis, Volkswagens, and certain BMWs. Okay, they do come in different dimensional sizes. So depending upon what type of vehicles that you work on a regular, you would like to know the spec sizes when it comes to their draw was, because each of them, they vary. So they do have a selection. I believe that they do have these in specific sets also. I had these right here for two particular make model vehicles. Okay, but just to give you a good example and idea, and how you would do it is you would spin it, okay, into the rotor, and you'll be able to guide your wheels while putting in the pins. All right. Over here, as you can see, I have a set of picks out also. I suggest that you get yourself a good set of picks. They don't have to be the most highest quality, picks are picks. All right. In some previous videos, I showed different snap-on picks and things like that of that nature. But like I stated, some of those things become more of a luxury throughout time. All right, but when you're first starting off, if you have a budget, you understand, you don't necessarily want to jump to the tool truck brand and a higher quality of things. What you want to do is make sure that you have all the proper equipment that you need, just in order to make a little bit of money first, and then you start stepping up your grade of tools. All right, so let's get it. All right, now what you're taking a look at is a couple of different oil filter floats that I actually have out. And as you can tell, all right, these designs here, okay, are different from just so to say that 64 millimeter. All right, the indifferential between the 64 millimeter, as you can take notice, actually has teeth. All right, when it comes to some of the housing, some of them have like a aluminum casting housing, some of them are metal, some of them are plastic and things like that. So you technically have to be very careful in sets like these are 3/8 drive. Okay, but in the 64 millimeter, that is half-inch drive, just as well as you can get a half-inch drive anvil in on the top. You can also be applied with a combination wrench, or just so to say, get another socket in and use a breaker bar if technically needed. Okay, not always suggested, but sometimes there will be situations where some things is over tightened. Okay, so these are some of the different denominations of oil filter flutes. Okay, if you take a look at this particular flute right here, all right, which there are some that are slightly even a little bit more smaller than that particular set. Now you would understand, okay, with being able to have a smaller oil filter wrench testically compared to having a more bigger one with a more wider jaw, okay, because once again, depending upon where things is located, there may be many different parts in the way in order to get the back and forth sideward motion in order to release and loosen, a particular oil filter. All right. Okay, what will be important when first coming into the field and having an understanding of what your function and your responsibility will technically be in the job? You would like to know, which drive sizes that you will be using for your specific applications. Okay, in the automotive service field, we use quarter-inch drive, 3/8 drive, and half-inch drive. Okay, so what you're basically taking a look at here is a Mac Tools quarter-inch. Okay, this is non-locking. This is your regular normal standard flex head, just as well as this is 3/8 drive, and this is a snap-on. This is a locking flex head, and here you have a half-inch drive. This is an 18-inch snap-on locking flex head. All right, so you would like to know when it comes to when it's time to purchase sockets and things like that, okay, because you want to be able to get the best bang for your buck. And my suggestion, I would not look at sets like in some of my previous videos. I showed general service sets like the Milwaukee 4 flat socket sets. Sets like that in that area are sets that I do not suggest when you're first starting off, okay, because those are each individual sets that come with 3 different premiums. What you want to take a look at is getting a full general service socket set that covers all drive sizes from quarter-inch drive to 3/8 drive and half-inch drive with absolutely no skips. Okay, there are sets out there that provide, those ranges of drive sizes, just as well as they also come with ratchets and extensions and swivels and universal swivels and things like that. So in my suggestion, I would look, more closer into those areas when um purchasing sockets, depending upon if you're going to go chrome or impact. Okay, coming into the field, you are definitely going to need impact sockets. Some would suggest to move along with impact sockets first because they will be used a lot, especially if you're in an area where you do like tire service removal and things like that, where it requires for you to use an impact wrench. When it comes to purchasing impact equipment, okay, and compared to cordless equipment when first starting off, depending upon your budget, and if you don't have a lot of money, cordless is not the option that I would tell you to go in, because if you technically don't have but so much money, you're not really going to have a lot of money to buy a whole lot of different batteries, because you're not going to be able to go throughout your whole day's time using a cordless tool very consistently, okay, because there are going to be times where you're going to need to charge those batteries. So my suggestion is that you get a half-inch drive pneumatic impact gun. Start with a half-inch drive first. Don't jump to a 3/8 drive first. If there's something that's required in a 3/8 drive, I suggest that you go to it manually with a ratchet for the time being and work your way up. And after you have your half-inch drive pneumatic for quite some time, then you start upgrading to other different levels of tools. You don't want to, be spending backwards. Some people get out there and start using a 3/8 drive on half-inch drive applications, and then what happens is they burn out their 3/8 drive, whether it's a cordless or a pneumatic impact, because the particular gun is not designed, okay, to withstand working on half-inch drive applications all the time. But you can do the opposite with a half-inch drive on a 3/8 application with certain extensions, even though it's not technically recommended, because a half-inch drive can share or break something off that is a 3/8 drive application. Okay. Okay, so for those new technicians that are looking to pursue the trades of automotive service, like I also stated, you should always get yourself a good set of lights and things like that of that nature, just as well as a good set of screwdrivers. They don't always have to be the most highest quality, like you see some similar to these right here, okay, which are snap on. The part number is SGDX60BR. Okay. The reason why I'm explaining this is because, a particular set like this, has a certain particular type of premium on it. Okay. Testically compared to some of the screwdrivers that you see, that I have along within my tool cart right here. Okay. Which is more least expensive brand, but these do hold up very well, just as well as there's many other different brands that are out there. Another thing to mention, depending upon which you're working on, there are some brands that work more better than others. Just so to say, some Japanese tools and some other foreign equipment, okay, is designed to fit the measurements a little bit more differently when it comes to certain screwdrivers and certain torques and things like that. Okay, but over here, a set like this is not something that I suggest that you just jump out the window right away and take a look at. Once again, depending upon your budget, you work your way up. I don't suggest that you just come into the field and you just dive right into tool trucks and things like that. Okay, if you are in the field and say for instance you are in a particular shop that actually does wheel service and things like that, in most particular shops they will have shop equipment. There will be some things that will be required of certain technicians to technically have on their own, but if they do not provide certain things, like just so to say, a particular tool like this right here, this is for wheel balancing weights that you would apply to rims and things like that. And most particular shops that do service when it comes to tire removal and things like that, they will provide tools like this. But if you are in like an independent shop and things like that, each individual category shop, it varies. Okay, so just some things to keep in mind. Like another tool over here, okay, this is used to pull valve stems, okay, from wheels and things like that. But once again, when it comes to particular tools like this, a certain shop, they may provide these already. I also just suggest, if you're doing things like oil changes and things like that when you first start off, what you're taking a look at here is a security seal. Okay, this is, to protect your work, so that once you put this seal on, if somebody comes behind you and removes a particular plug, it will be noticeable, okay? Because, you'll have instances where customers will come in and state that they had a problem, and then, they'll state that you were the last technician who worked on it. But if the seal is broke, then you would know that the plug was tampered with, okay? So, this is a good backup when, working in the field. Um, Over here is let's see, is a valve stem core remover. Okay, this is a core tool here. This is made by Stillman Pro, I believe. All right, so that's just, with some of those particular items. Like I said, it's not always necessary that you have to jump immediately to tool truck brands. You will need a good set of wrenches, at some particular point.